Alright, let's dive into this whole potential three-team trade scenario involving the Miami Heat, Los Angeles Lakers, and Sacramento Kings. It's a bit tangled, but the key move that sets everything off is Jonathan Kuminga heading over to Sacramento. That's the first domino, and once that happens, it opens the door for Sacramento to move away from DeMar DeRozan. From there, you start to see all kinds of possibilities unfold. One idea tossed around is the Lakers pulling off a deal to snag a guy like Keon Ellis, though. That might be a bit of a stretch, but pairing him up with Andrew Wiggins would be an absolute dream. Realistically, if the Lakers can land Malik Monk alongside Wiggins, that's still a solid move. The key for the Lakers is to get someone who can come off the bench and be that reliable scorer. That spark plug is a sixth man now. If they do move Austin Reeves out of the rotation at some point, Monk could slide in and bring some solid production. He's not necessarily someone you slot into the starting lineup, but as a bench player who can create and score, Monk fills a valuable role. But all this really depends on that initial move with Kuminga to Sacramento. If that deal doesn't go through, things get a lot messier. Sacramento would then be stuck figuring out what to do next. The Kings have some cap space flexibility, around $7.5 million under the hard cap apron, so they're in a decent spot to take on some contracts, but they're juggling a lot of pieces. Miami is a bit tighter on cap space, only about $4 million under the apron, so they can't just absorb any contract without some creative maneuvering. The tricky part about bringing in Andrew Wiggins to the Lakers is that they don't have the salary space to just take him on directly. According to what's been speculated, a Wiggins trade would require a third team because the Lakers would need to send out a package, including guys like Rui Hachimura, Gabe Vincent, and Dalton Cunningham to make the salaries match. Even if money washes out on paper, the Lakers still have to fill roster spots, which complicates the whole process. So, the Lakers need to shed salary to bring in Wiggins, and they need partners to absorb those contracts. It's not just a simple one-for-one deal, which is why the three-team trade talk comes into play. If Sacramento misses out on Kuminga, then the Kings have some decisions to make. They already have Dennis Schroeder and are looking to bring in Russell Westbrook. They want ball handlers who can take control of the offense. So that puts Malik Monk and DeRozan on the move. If Miami is genuinely interested in DeRozan, as some reports suggest, that could actually make for a much cleaner trade. Imagine DeRozan landing in Miami, Wiggins going to the Lakers, and Sacramento picking up a package including Rui Hachimura, Dalton Cunningham, and Gabe Vincent. Sacramento can absorb the extra salary because of their cap space, and they get some valuable players who fit their needs. Hachimura's off-ball shooting, and some young talent in Cunningham. There's even room for a fourth team to get involved, if necessary, but keeping it simple, this three-way trade fits well. Miami grabs the scorer they want in DeRozan, who fits better as a starter rather than off the bench. The Lakers get Wiggins, who brings two-way defense and athleticism to their wing positions. Sacramento moves off some contracts they don't want and adds players who fit their style better. Now, if you want to spice it up, you can toss Malik Monk into the mix heading to the Lakers, which would make the deal more complex but potentially more beneficial for LA. The Lakers would then get a scorer and playmaker off the bench while upgrading their wing rotation. With Wiggins, Sacramento cleans house, getting rid of DeRozan and Monk, and picks up role players who fit their vision. Miami ends up with a star scorer in DeRozan without having to take on extra contracts. It's a lot of moving parts, and the complexity really boils down to whether Kuminga goes to Sacramento or not. If he does, the trade landscape changes completely, with Sacramento having more options. If not, this simpler trade scenario seems the most logical. Sacramento can work with Miami to take on players like Hachimura, Vincent, and Cunningham, while Miami gets DeRozan and the Lakers get Wiggins and potentially Monk. That way, each team addresses specific needs without overcomplicating the process. Also, think about the Lakers' backcourt. If Austin Reeves moves on at some point, whether this offseason or later, the addition of Monk provides a way to maintain scoring and ball handling off the bench. Monk isn't necessarily a starting caliber guard for the Lakers, but as a secondary playmaker and scorer, he complements the core well. Pair that with Wiggins, who can play both the 2 and 3 positions, and suddenly you have a versatile lineup with LeBron, Davis, and those wings who can defend and stretch the floor. Sacramento, meanwhile, would get a chance to bring in Russell Westbrook and keep Dennis Schroeder, giving them to experienced ball handlers who can manage the offense and create opportunities. With Nakamura's shooting and Cunningham's potential as a young prospect, they can balance their roster better. Moving off DeRozan and Monk helps clear cap space and opens the door for Sacramento to build around these new pieces. Miami benefits by adding DeRozan, a proven scorer who fits their need for a reliable offensive option. They don't have to take on multiple contracts, which simplifies their roster management. Plus, players like Gabe Vincent could be part of the mix, adding depth to their guard rotation. The beauty of this scenario is the balance for all teams involved to each get something they want, and the salaries align better than in the more complicated versions of the trade. It's clean, it's efficient, and it meets the needs of Miami, Sacramento, and the Lakers without turning into a massive juggling act. Of course, there's always the dream scenario where the Lakers pull off a package, including Keon Ellis alongside Wiggins and Monk. That would be ideal, adding youth, defense, and scoring. But from what we can tell, Sacramento isn't willing to move Ellis easily, especially if they're targeting Austin Reeves, Nakamura, or Cunningham in return. That makes the Ellis piece unlikely for now. Looking at the big picture, if the Lakers could send out Vincent, Nakamura, and Cunningham to land Wiggins and maybe add Monk, they would dramatically improve their wing depth and bench scoring. That's a game changer for a team looking to maximize LeBron's final prime years. They could even open up spots to bring in players like Nerlens Noel to bolster their front court defense. Sacramento's flexibility under the cap means they can absorb some extra salary, making them the perfect middleman in this deal. They get rid of players they want to move, bring in talent that fits their system, and maintain some cap flexibility moving forward. Miami gets a clean swap for DeRozan without the headache of multiple contracts. Lakers get Wiggins and bench help. It's a win-win-win, as long as everyone agrees on the pieces involved and the salary math works out. The trick is moving the first piece, whether that's Kuminga or DeRozan, and then the rest falls into place. From there, it's about fitting players into roles and keeping the roster balanced. If Miami truly wants DeRozan, this trade makes perfect sense. DeRozan's skill set matches Miami's style better than what they have now, and his ability to play the 3 or 4 spot fits their lineup. Meanwhile, Wiggins in LA would provide a solid defensive wing who can attack off the dribble, and Monk would give them that scoring punch off the bench they desperately need. Sacramento's decision will ultimately dictate how this plays out. If they secure Kuminga, it could trigger a whole different set of moves, but if not, this clean 3-team swap looks like the best path forward. Each team strengthens their roster while moving unwanted contracts and pieces that don't fit. From a fan's perspective, it's exciting to watch these puzzle pieces come together. Trades like this can reshape the landscape of the league and set up playoff runs. The Lakers are chasing championship windows, Miami wants to remain contenders, and Sacramento is looking to build a competitive team with the right balance of veterans and youth. We'll have to wait and see how the front offices maneuver in the coming weeks, but this scenario definitely gives us something to talk about. The mix of talent moving around, cap space considerations, and team needs make for a fascinating storyline in the NBA trade season. With so many factors at play, the ripple effect of these moves could impact not just these 3 teams, but others around the league as well. Player development, chemistry, and salary cap flexibility will all be key in determining whether this trade, or something like it, actually happens. Keep an eye on how Sacramento approaches their roster, whether they lean into adding Kuminga or choose the cleaner trade path with DeRozan heading to Miami. Meanwhile, the Lakers and Heat will be waiting to see what kind of pieces they can get back in return, and how those fit into their championship plans. At the end of the day, trades like this showcase how intricate NBA roster building can be. It's not just about swapping players, but about salary cap management, team fit, player roles, and long-term strategy. This potential 3-team deal is a perfect example of that complexity. Before we continue, we ask that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Lakers updates. Moving on. Whispers are swirling around Los Angeles this week, and the name on everyone's lips is Sotto. The 7'3" Filipino sensation has been spotted in the City of Angels, fueling speculation that a potential deal with the Lakers could be in the works, while no official statement has been released by the team or Sotto's camp. Sources close to the situation suggest that talks are heating up. Sotto, only 23, has been steadily building his profile in international basketball circuits, with stints in Australia's NBL, Japan's B.League, and appearances in FIBA competitions. His unique blend of height, soft shooting touch, and improving defensive awareness has drawn interest from several NBA franchises in the past. But this latest development might indicate that his long-awaited NBA debut is finally on the brink of reality. Local fans spotted Sotto arriving at LAKERS earlier this week, flanked by his agent and a small entourage. Social media lit up soon after, with photos of him dining at restaurants in Beverly Hills and reportedly visiting the Lakers' practice facility in El Segundo. Though the Lakers organization has remained tight-lipped, insiders claim that discussions are underway about potentially bringing Sotto in on a developmental or two-way contract. The Lakers, known for their rich history and global appeal, may be seeking to tap into the massive Southeast Asian basketball market, and Sotto, a national hero in the Philippines, could be the perfect bridge. His signing wouldn't just be about on-court production. It could be a strategic move with global marketing implications. Still, caution remains. Rumors like these often swirl during the off-season, and until pen meets paper, nothing is guaranteed. Yet for Lakers fans, and especially for Filipino basketball supporters around the globe, the mere possibility of seeing Sotto don the purple and gold is enough to ignite excitement. Whether this is the beginning of a new chapter in Sotto's career, or just another near miss on his path to the NBA, only time will tell, but the buzz in LA is real. Stay informed exclusively about Los Angeles Lakers news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep receiving daily updates. Also, share your opinion on the news in the comments, as your contribution is crucial for the Lakers. Stay tuned for the next video.